We've all been there. You look in the mirror and you're not happy. Or you're out of breath walking up the stairs and it hits you. You get fed up and you want to change. The question is, how? And also, are we actually going to do something about it? If you are like me, it's great in theory, but rarely do you apply yourself to actual change and getting uncomfortable. You don't like a change of routine. So how do you expect to change if you don't change? Before my 6-week cut, was I extremely out of shape before? No. This was a change for my mentality, just myself, and the body came with it. And I promise you it always does. But part of me would be lying if I wasn't honest. I did want to transform my body again. That's how I got into my fitness journey after all. Years ago, I enjoyed challenging myself and my body. I used to describe my body as art. You can transform it however you want. It's like a sculpture. But then that hobby kind of disappeared for a while. Years later, I couldn't bring myself to do it again. I couldn't bring myself to not only challenge myself, but even really enjoy working out. I felt like I didn't really know me anymore. This was a turning point. Here was me, fed up and deciding just to start somewhere. I had 6 weeks until my summer travel started, so what better time, right? And please note, this video isn't meant to make you feel bad or compare. I just want to share what I learned and how it doesn't need to be that deep. You don't need to jump to crazy restrictions, but you do need to learn discipline at some point. I wanted to find myself again in the best way possible, in the healthiest way possible, and this allowed me to do it. So I hope you enjoy this review on what I learned, how I feel, and what I'm going to do to keep up with it, in hopes that it inspires you just to be a better version of yourself. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Hi, hello, how are we? Happy whatever day of the week it is for you. I wanted to go over everything and anything in my 6-week cut. I thought, why not do a sit down video, because I know you all are going to have a million questions for me and I might as well answer them, okay? My 6-week cut is officially over. I have made it and I'm feeling great, but I thought, why not just kind of dive into how I felt during it, the pros, the cons, and how I plan on maintaining it. So with that being said, do not forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and let's get started. Keep in mind, a little disclaimer, that everybody's bodies are different, their measurements are different, their goals are different. I am just simply here to tell you what I did. Please don't come at me. Hi friends, today's video is brought to you and sponsored by a game changer that has been keeping me company on my runs and workouts during my 6-week cut, Audible. Whether I'm pounding the pavement or breaking a sweat on the treadmill, Audible is right there with me, making my workouts fun and a change of pace. A girl can only listen to so much music until she needs to switch it up. There's honestly something truly magical about multitasking, and with Audible, I can dive into these captivating narratives while I'm giving it all at my gym. I've got my Audible library right here on my phone, and let me tell you, the selection is mind-blowing. From heart-pounding thrillers, which are my favorite at the moment, to self-help books during my journey, especially during this one, they have it all. And guess what? Audible isn't just about audiobooks. They've got Audible originals, podcasts, and so much more, making every workout a chance to explore something new and exciting. Plus, it helps the workout feel like it's going by quicker. With the Audible app, it's easy to listen wherever I go, making even the toughest workouts fly by in a whirlwind of storytelling. If you are ready to dive in and try it out during your workout, try it out during a hot girl walk, or just try it out while you grocery shop. You know I love to multitask. Head over to audible.com/Savannah Wright or text Savannah Wright to 500-500 for an exclusive treat to try Audible for 30 days for free. Trust me, you're in for an adventure you do not want to miss. So let's lace up those shoes, plug in the earbuds, and let Audible redefine the way we conquer not only our fitness goals, but the world of storytelling. Happy listening, everybody. So I really wanted to focus on 5 things that were important to me in my 6-week cut, and then I'll go into the cons. So starting with number 1, the most important thing for my personal cut that worked for me was getting in check with my macros. And you guys are probably like, what are macros? Macros are your carbs, your proteins, your fats. I am not gonna go into detail. If you want a completely separate video for that, go YouTube it. There's 8 million YouTube videos on what macros are, what micronutrients are, what's the difference between calories versus macros. You guys all can finger type, come here, bro. Hi, he wanted to say hi. He says, bring your dog to work day. You guys all can go research it on your own because I don't want to be sounding like a broken record. But I essentially had not tracked my macros in about 4 years. My weight has changed, my muscle mass has changed, and my age has changed. And in order to track your macros, you need to know your age, your weight, your activity level, what your goal is, and your height. So I just thought, why not get myself in check again and see what my macros are. Now in the macro calculator, I did set it for a slight deficit. There's a million macro calculators out there. Be careful because not all of them are accurate. I totally, highly recommend having a dietitian or a nutritionist help you out if this is something you're interested in. And also keep in mind that I don't think you have to count your macros in order to see success in your fitness journey. It was just something that I needed to check because my portions were way out of control and I didn't know if I was getting enough protein in. And that was a huge thing, is if I was going to start lifting, I really needed to make sure I had enough protein during this journey. And what I mean by portion control is I live with a 6'1" man. I was literally eating more than he was, and I just didn't actually know what my body needed because I'm a bit of a mindless eater. I will finish everything on my plate. That's how I was raised. I don't know if anybody else is like that, but it really hindered me in the end because I was gaining all this weight, but I was exercising normally and I was kind of confused, and it had to correlate to my macros and how much I was consuming. So like I said, macros was just kind of my Achilles heel in this. Once again, it's not for everybody. I'm not telling you have to count your macros. You can totally see success. I feel like the internet can be really mean about that kind of stuff. So I'm just telling you that's what I did, and consult a dietitian, okay? But I got in check with my macros. I tracked them on MyFitnessPal. It was really helpful. I double, triple fact checked my macros as well, and I reassessed throughout my journey. So I've actually changed my macros up a bit halfway through. 2 is I really had to work on my snacking habits. Can you see a reoccurring theme? It was a lot of my nutrition that had gotten ahead of me. And I am somebody that is, once again, a mindless snacker, and I also love desserts. I love alcohol, I love wine, and there's nothing wrong with that. You should have the dessert, you should have the cake, you should have the bottle of wine. Okay, well, maybe not a bottle. I mean, like, split a bottle. I don't know. It's not my business. Do what you want to do, okay? But that is where it started to add up, and the sugar content was really harming me. Plus my performance the next day, I never felt 100%. I'm somebody that like can't have a glass of wine every day. It really affects my body. So I just found out that it was easier for me to cut back on the dessert. I still had it, but I had my portion sizing. Before, I'd just take a pint of Ben & Jerry's and eat it until I was full, but I was never really full. So I have pounded a pint of Jerry's in one sitting before. I'm kind of impressed by that. Fish food, amazing. And so instead what I did was take the Ben & Jerry's out into a bowl and do my portion size, and then if I was still hungry, I could reassess and grab more if I really wanted to. It was something that was so little and so insignificant to most people, but for me, for a sugar queen, it was important. And then as for drinking, I also cut back. Once again, I was tracking my macros and I was making sure to hit my macros daily. So if I did ever have a drink, I would just fit it into my macros. You can definitely fit them in. Once again, you can do your own research on alcohol and how it correlates to your macros. But that was a huge thing, was the 4th of July, I went over to a barbecue and I just like fit in my tequila, lime juice, soda with my macros. I also just like cut back on it personally. I think I would really do it once a week, and that's just made me feel better. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with drinking. Obviously, I have a podcast that we talk about weightlifting and drinking, but for me, I just felt like if I needed to do this, I couldn't have any distractions. I couldn't be feeling awful the next day, even on the weekends. So I just cut back on my drinking, and that was a big thing for me. 3 is I followed a 5-day workout split. What that means is I basically focused on a muscle group every single day. I would lift 5 days a week, and then near the end of it, I would incorporate more running. So I really wanted to focus on my lifting schedule because I'm somebody that will not go and lift if she doesn't feel like it. And there's days you shouldn't if you don't feel like it, right? Listen to your body if you need rest. But with that being said, I also think there are days that we need to be disciplined and show up for ourselves. So that was a huge thing, was having a goal of getting about 4 to 5 days a week of lifting, and then incorporating my runs. I love running 4 miles about 3 days a week, whether I did it on the weekend, maybe I walked the 4 miles, but I just really kept up with my cardio and still incorporated that. I didn't want to just solely go into lifting, but I also don't want to just solely do cardio. You need a beautiful mix of both. Now, if you're curious on what 5-day workout split I followed, I have a Get Fit with Sav workout program. They're all workouts that I have done for myself, so I follow that. And also I follow my one-on-one workout program training. So if you guys are ever interested in either, look below. If you want to work more one-on-one with me, book a time to call and chat with me, and we can kind of go over your goals and see how I can get you there. Or if you just want monthly workouts, go to Get Fit with Sav. Now, 4 is I increased my cardio and my movement in general. And what this means is, in order to really burn fat, you need to be in a caloric deficit. That's just the science behind it, is you need to be burning more calories than you're consuming. And an easy way to help with this is just increasing your movement daily. Especially if you're somebody that sits at like a 9-to-5 job and you're sitting all day. Maybe you got your workout in the morning or you work out at night, but between that period, you're just like sitting all day at your desk. I highly recommend taking breaks, taking 15-minute breaks, go for a walk, go walk with coffee, grab some water, grab a colleague, grab a friend, and go for a walk. How we did this was I incorporated walks with my friends 3 times a week. Shout out to Millie, because her and I were walking up a storm and I loved it. My dog loved it, and I would always do it around sunset, but 3 times a week I would make sure to do about like a 4-mile loop. Also, I always incorporated my running, and even like little hacks. Like the other day I wanted to watch The Summer I Turned Pretty, and instead of just watching on the couch, I went to the gym and I just walked at an incline while I watched it. Now, there's nothing wrong with you wanting to watch it on the couch, but I knew I hadn't gotten my cardio in for the day, so that's what I did. Was an easy hack, was watch A Summer I Turned Pretty while I was walking on the treadmill. Last but not least is 5. And what this is I incorporated a lot of self-care. And you're probably like, okay, Sav, duh, not such a no-brainer. But this was actually an important thing that I didn't focus on. I was focusing on everything else. I was focusing on my business, on my husband, my dog, but I wasn't really focusing on me. So during this 6-week process, I really wanted to hone on what I wanted and how I wanted things and who I wanted to be. And what I did was create vision boards. I also incorporated more time for meditation, which was so nice and rejuvenating. I feel like I learned a lot about myself during this process. I really took my time in showers. And like I said, this is such a silly thing, but it's something I don't do for myself. And something I really added in that I love is saunaing. And I will sauna about 3 times a week at the gym after I work out for 15 minutes. I pop in a podcast, maybe I pop in some Taylor Swift, Folklore, Chef's Kiss, the most soothing thing ever. But I just like took time to focus on myself, and that was really important. So those were the 5 things that I did in my 6-week cut. There was nothing crazy. There was no crazy diet. There was no crazy workout routine. It was just simply me staying disciplined and, most importantly, consistent. Honestly, there is no magic. There is no crazy secret workout. There's no crazy diet. There's no weird lemon water that's gonna make you get your body of your dreams. I'm not kidding you. The answer to the equation is just consistency and having a plan. And if you do that, I promise you, you will see change. But the amount of people that actually will pick up something and then drop it after a week, 2 weeks, whatever it may be, is unreal. So next time you're on a challenge and say things don't pan out the way you wanted, take a look and like actually reassess your goals and how you were going to get to those goals. Did you actually follow your plan to the T, or did you cut corners? Because majority of the time it's because you're cutting corners. It's not forever, remember that. And also, you're doing it for a better cause. You're bettering yourself, and there's nothing more rewarding than seeing that transformation at the end of it and just giving yourself a pat on the back that you're like, hey, I shut up for myself, I completed this. I used to be somebody that would never complete a single task, okay? And it drove me nuts, and I don't wanna be that person. I wanna stick to my word. That's like a huge characteristic that I value, so I have to show up for myself if I'm expecting others to stick to their word, right? So honestly, I think the cons were just, there were days I didn't want to do it and I did it and I showed up. At the end of the day, it's dependent on what you're comfortable with, what you're okay with, and how you want this journey. I hope these tips helped. Thank you for following along with this, and I cannot wait to do another challenge with you. Comment down below what kind of challenge you want. But with that being said, do not forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you next time.